because when he was.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Senator Byrd. I'm sorry, 'cause I'm thinking about those books I've read, Transformation of America and Thanks for the Memories.
But McCain was, he ran against Bush a couple of, number of years ago. He was from Arizona. He's from Arizona and was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. And he now has come out to try to pass this legislation against torture. Actually, he got it passed. But, he was really virulently against Bush, that group, when he was running. Well, I know that that's kind of normal, but, and then he kind of bought into the whole Republican agenda, including pushing, backing up the war and all that. But I would see him, and I just didn't feel like he was being honest anymore. And then, so I listened to him, and he actually named a lot of these reptilians that they put inside have names. They have names.
Yeah.
And this one's Jason, and he talks how he's being cut within this net, and how they put this thing inside of him, and he hates it, and he talks about how they suck, or they feed on men, and he brings up all these things, but he was almost sounded schizophrenic. And then I recorded him again when he got this legislation passed, this anti-terror torture legislation. And I could tell his human side was like getting more strong. He was not as beaten down. And, I felt like, because if you get it, that this thing inside of you, or this entity will try to manipulate it, corrupt you. It will find your weakness, whether it is ego, power, money, sex, drugs, alcohol, whatever it is. It will seduce and manipulate. And if you're strong and really, you can fight against these things.
Oh yeah, and those who do follow the Lord end up finding themselves in the same messes. Can't explain it because. I'm a Christian, how can this happen to me? Close the doorways of access.
Yeah.
There's doorways of access. You give these things, close those doorways down, and they can't get a hold of you.
Right.
They have to leave.
Yeah, you have to really understand that anybody can be weak. I mean, we all have weaknesses.
Yeah.
And they will find that, and they will, work on you. And I have a very good friend who got seeded with one of these entities years ago, and because he was kind of in the drug scene years ago, and that's when it happened. And he has been abducted many times, and he has a lot of problems with this group. But he's told me, and he's still working to get the thing out of him. Get himself unseated, but he's very aware of it. Actually, one night, it stuck its head out of his solar plexus, and he saw it.
Oh, wow.
Which can be a shock. But he said, and from him, he has told me how this thing feels when, he said, it'll be like, especially if you're not feeling really strong, he says, suddenly he'll have these weird negative thoughts that come over him like a wave. And he just... But see, he knows this is not him. He knows it's this thing. So he's able to push it back. But somebody like the two women who murdered, who killed their children, somebody weak or whose mind is not really clear and is hearing voices or being manipulated, it's very difficult.
Yeah, we have to wonder, because I remember Hitler, when I was reading an autobiography on him, where he was stating that he was often a spectator at his own speeches. He would hear himself talking.
Oh, my
God. And he was standing in front of these audiences, but it was like he said himself he was a spectator at his own speeches. It wasn't him doing the talking.
No, I'm sure it wasn't.
That would be weird, just to see yourself knowing you're doing something, but you're like a spectator of it yourself.
Yeah.
That would be different. I mean,
and
he was one of them.
I think the biggest problem for people, especially as they get into the limelight and they become well known in whatever field it is, whether it's UFOs or whatever their field is, the Christian movement or New Age, whatever. It's their ego, you see, because we all love the limelight and all those accolades and how special we are and how wonderful we are and all that stuff. And boy, I've heard these entities, because I hear them they're on every tape. They're on every recording. I mean, they never shut up. I never can get them to just...
I'd love to hear themselves talk. I mean, well, you can always tell when it's one of them giving a prophecy or something, because they'll just ramble and ramble and ramble and ramble on. But when it's the Lord himself giving you one, he doesn't speak on and on and ramble. He says things very precise. He says things in a few sentences of paragraphs. That's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't sit there and give people, well, get out of your notebook, I have something to say. That's channeling right there.
Right.
The people are channeling. And these things love to talk, and they give very lengthy and wordy messages.
Oh, yes, and it's always my beloved.
And if you're in the New Age movement, it's called a channeling. And if you're in religion, it's called a prophecy or,
Yeah. No,
same thing.
It's the same thing. Sure.
But, you pick up the same terminology, and people say, how can you tell if a prophecy is really from the Lord or not? And it's like, it's the terminology. It always comes down to the terminology. You can read it and tell if it's from the Lord himself or from a channeled being, because these channeled beings, they always use the same type of terminologies, the same type of words. It doesn't matter if you're in the New Age or in the Christian movement, you can pick it up. You learn it from reading the New Age garbage, actually, because you learn how they talk.
Funny.
And then you come over to the Christian movement and read these prophecies from the Lord, and they're not from him because you recognize the language being used.
Yeah.
Because you read it over there in the New Age garbage a couple websites ago. And so I always tell people, the more you know him, the more you know what is not of him.
Yeah.
And so it's really just a relationship building thing, getting to know who he is so that you can tell when it isn't him.
Yeah.
Well,
it can be tricky because, we have, we come in with all kinds of preconceived ideas about, what's what, and
that's why you just have to throw him out and just ask him to reveal the truth in all things to you.
Yeah.
That's why I encourage everybody to always do. I mean, you encourage people to buy their software, see it for themselves, which is really good.
Yeah.
Buy the software, do reverse speech, see it yourself.
Yeah.
I just, I'm the easier route. I'm just like, ask the Lord to reveal the truth to you in all things.
Right.
And then he'll start to reveal the errors and expose the deceptions to you. And you can start to see it because we keep praying for truth.
I also reverse myself a lot.
Yeah.
Because I will tell myself if I am on the wrong track.
See, that's funny.
And sometimes I can really be harsh with myself.
That's like self-help.
So I was asking about Cheney. I'll share this because I thought I heard that he was going out earlier, leaving, or had left.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get to this, and so I was asking myself.
Well, I've been told that a lot of these people have been heading over to Australia, to Pine Gap, to hide.
Oh.
Because they're afraid of being indicted here in America. Because they know these indictments are hanging over their head.
Well, that's possible.
And so I've heard a lot of them have been heading over to Australia.
Well, I can tell you what I said. I said to myself, you're being a bit insincere here. You really just want to be the first to know.
You said that in reverse?
That's what I said to myself.
Oh.
I said, well, dang.
All right, well, that wraps up this show. Thanks so much for being on tonight, Peggy.
All right, thanks, Sherry.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, bye. Bye.
That wraps up the show tonight, folks. We'll be back next week, Monday night at 8 p.m. I'll see you next week. Update at my blog. I'll get more consistent with it this week. I've taken some time off on it for a while here now. But we'll get back with the blog at SherryTalkRadio.blogspot.com, and also it'll be on next Monday night at 8. We'll see you then. God bless.